Okay, everyone. Yes, hold up for a second here. Hold up for a second here. Okay, everyone. Uh, I'm your soul brother Talib, who you best know from Reality Temple on Earth, aka Operation Exodus Mississippi. And I'm coming back at you with a part three called Why I Don't Like Black People. And this is from the part one that I did with our sister Noble Levine on her channel called Alberta Parish, which you could go to and watch that video as well. It was done on live stream last night, and I just want to, and she did a part two, which is also on that channel. But I wanted to do a part three of a continuation of this, and I just want to give a few minutes about this because I still had some other stuff to say, but it was, technical difficulties as usual. Whenever we be on live stream, doing live hangouts and stuff like that. But I really didn't get a chance to really say the few other words or add on to what I wanted to really say. But I want to just say this too is that first of all, I as where I left off, one of the parts where I left off at was how I experienced dealing with other black people, even while I was in the prison system, as well as out here on the streets, and when I was incarcerated in the prison system, like I said, I saw black organizations that I was, involved with, even in there, that was, what I'm saying, fighting among each other, stabbing each other, like I said last night in part one, over petty, frivolous things like killing each other over homosexuals and all this other stuff, or stabbing each other over homosexuals and, fighting each other over other different, stuff like, doctrine differences, far as their beliefs were concerned and all that kind of craziness, But these same organizations is supposed to be about the upliftment of dark skinned people's soul in this country, right? So they say. Okay. And I mean, this is the type of hypocrisy, once again, that I continually and as I've always seen on the streets, even prior to me going to the penitentiary when it come to dealing with these pro-black conscious organizations, okay? And even the so-called pro-black conscious organization I was initially involved with called the Nuwabians, which they now, from my understanding, call themselves the Sabians, which I recently heard. But anyway, that's another topic for another time or whatever. But however, they were known for selling drugs too. Like the Moorish Science Temple of America is known for selling drugs and pushing drugs into the black community. And also, some people in the Nation of Islam have sold drugs while being active members of the Nation of Islam. And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Out of fact, I don't even need to go through all that. You know what I'm saying? You could just do your research. It's right there. The information is online. The information is on social media. Like dealing with the Black Mafia in Philadelphia back in the 60s, which a book was written about that implicated a lot of people who were actively members of the Nation of Islam and that actually were a part of the leadership of the Nation of Islam as well, okay? That had their hands into, the underground world, far as the Black Mafia in Philadelphia was concerned, okay? And and also in other places where they did illegal things which involved the street drug trade. Okay, so I mean it's no secret, and like I say before that and they are still involved heavily. I have so-called family or so-called relative that's involved, in organizations like that, you know, that's actually, heavily involved in the drug trade. And so, I would, and this individual has even admitted openly that he sells drugs. Okay. So, like I said before, it's hypocrisy to say that you about the upliftment of a people who's been destroyed by this epidemic called the so-called war on drugs, which include heroin or the crack cocaine epidemic, especially. Okay, and you're still participating in this destruction of your own people, yet you come from a teaching doctrine that says that it's supposed to be about uplifting our people from those type of devices, right? Okay, well, there it is, and that's why I say, that that's another reason why I don't really like black people, because they use each other, they use religion as a as a cliche, you know what I'm saying, to do what they do as far as manipulating and taking advantage of other black people and surviving off the suffering of other black people, like in the cases, as of people like Louis Farrakhan, L. Sharpton, and the list goes on. You know what I'm saying? And these people are very wealthy and rich, at the expense of surviving off the suffering of other black people. And I mean, it's like it's a almost endless thing. It's like it's an endless thing, when you look at it, because it's still constantly going on. And while, the black community is already desecrated, you know what I'm saying, and torn apart, you know, which includes many lives and families that are torn apart in the black community, and this is still going on. I mean, we have to wake up and recognize and understand the reality of the situation for what it is, and say, look here, we need to wake up and come to our senses, to understand that it's okay for black people not to like other black people when it comes to that type of stuff, And I definitely would say it again. That's the reason why, among other, unfortunate reasons, why I don't like other black people, And I really don't care because of that to be around a lot of other black people, especially when it comes to living in geographic areas where it's more black people in America populated at. Okay. And I have to also say that because we are each other's worst enemies, as someone in history would once say. You know, we are definitely each other's worst enemies. You know, like the Honorable Marcus Garvey said, almost going on 100 years ago, that in fact black people are their own worst enemies. And you know, that's true. You know, that still stands on truth today. That definitely stands on true ground today, without no question. And we are, you know, killing each other, snuffing each other out, setting each other up. You know what I'm saying? And it's no different from what the racist has done to us. Matter of fact, that makes us, in many ways, the same as the racists. You know, as far as a dark-skinned people concerned on this planet Earth, we're more, you know, like our racist oppressors than any other darker-skinned people on this earth is, and that's a fact. I mean, we've been living right up under our racist Caucasian oppressor for over 400 years here in America, and had to deal with them up close, more so than any other darker skinned people on this planet Earth has in history. So, yes, we have a lot in common with the Caucasian as black people once again than any other darker skinned group of people from around the planet Earth. You know, and that makes us even more dangerous as a darker skinned group of people, you know, because of the fact that we learned how to be whatever the Caucasian slave master taught us over here how to be, you know, and this is the reason why, you know, now I understand when there was a time I didn't want to understand or didn't understand why other black people in this country choose to stay away from other black people. And I could see why. And I could clearly understand why. You know, and who can argue with them, you know, about that? Or who could even blame them for that? You know, so, you know, like I said before, I honestly you know, see what I've seen, you know, in my lifetime up to this point, you know, and what I've had to deal with myself personally as far as my interactions with other black people are concerned, you know, and I mean it's not fun, and it's not a good experience, you know, a good experience that I would even want to remember for the rest of my life. Although that's something that I just have to nip in the bud and say, okay, it is what it is, and keep moving on with my life without letting that affect me, you know, as far as, you know, moving on with bettering my life quality or whatever, or bettering my life, period, you know. But the thing about it is that I just feel like, you know, people need to understand and know that there are other black people that don't like other black people, and it's not because it's out of self-hatred, as those of you, especially in the pro-black conscious community, would say. It's definitely for a reason. Why? It's definitely for a reason. It's reasons behind that. You know, it is legitimate reasons behind that. And why we continue on, you know, uh, not liking black people because of the continuing reasons that warrants that type of, you know, reaction from other black people that feel that way as I do. And like our sister Noble Levine, who I was on a live stream, do. You know? So, I mean, I just feel like, hey, look, for those of you that'll be watching this video, and even if you do disagree with me, understand and know one thing, that I actually, felt the same way you felt as to how could he not like himself? No, it ain't got nothing to do with one not liking himself. Not from the lenses of where I'm looking at it from. Okay? Because from the lenses where I'm looking at this situation from is different than a person actually hating themselves or hating the very skin color on their body. My reason for not liking black people don't have nothing to do with that. Okay? It's because of the actions of other black people. Okay? That have drawn me to come to that rightful conclusion as far as I'm concerned. Okay? And anybody that don't understand that and choose not to understand that is simply got low tunnel vision and has a complete closed mind and closed ears, that they're not willing to open up their eyes and ears to understand what I'm expressing in this video. Okay? But I mean, we must understand one thing though. And one thing we definitely must understand is that black people do wicked, evil stuff to each other. As worse as the races do. Like I say, just go to Chicago. Look at places like Baltimore. Look at places like Detroit, Newark, New Jersey. Certain parts of New York City, Miami, New Orleans, wherever there are a concentrated larger group of black people at in this country. Houston, Texas, Oakland, and the list goes on. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Look at all the killing and mayhem that we do to each other. But we want other people to respect black lives. Come on. How much sense do that even make? How much sense do that make? How in the hell do we figure that other people should respect black lives? Period. When we don't even have enough respect for ourselves to even respect black life. And I go back and forth with some people about this all the time, or have in the recent past. But you know what? I understand what people at, and people going to be where they're at and their own opinion and how they look at stuff. But the reality is, the situation is that we have shown and demonstrated that we don't value our own lives. So why should other people value our lives when we don't even value our lives? We should be able to value our lives more than anybody else value our lives. And ain't nobody gonna value your life as a black person as much as you're gonna value your own life as a black person. And that's just that simple. I mean, them people involved in the Black Lives Matter protests, even including white people that are, I'm going to tell you something. That ain't nothing but for self-interest, like I've said before. It's because there's a self-interest benefit involved in that. Is why they're doing that. Why they out there doing all that marching and protesting. That's for self-interest benefit on their behalf. They could less give a damn about a black life. For real. And I mean, hey, it's people out there in them black life protesters that's involved in gangs. You know what I'm saying? involved in selling dope to their own people. Like them people that was tearing up Minneapolis. You know what I'm saying? Rioting down there in Atlanta. You know, and around the country during this George Floyd recent protests from last year, you know? These people, you know, even we go back to Ferguson, Missouri riot protests. You know, you had them same kind of people. They don't, and you know, after all that blew over, they went back to selling they crack, they weed, and killing each other. I mean, you know, so I mean, once again, why should black people or other people care for black lives when black people don't care for black lives? And that's one thing I definitely don't like about black people, among the other reasons why I don't like black people, because of stuff like that too, you know. And I mean, we have to understand and realize that the reality of the whole situation is that we, you know what I'm saying, while we sitting up here always talking about how the racist police is blowing your heads off because you the N-word, or you know, some other races blowing your head off because you the N-word. Well, we blow our heads off because that's how we look at each other too. Once again, which do not set us too far apart from the racists. We're just like the racists, just like someone said. Just about everything about us as dark-skinned people in this country, who I refer to as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in America, are, if in fact, the same and having a whole lot in common with our racist oppressor in this country. We have a whole lot in common with our Caucasian racist oppressor in ways unimaginable. And that even go for those of you in the so-called pro-black conscious community who call the white man or Caucasian pink man the devil. Y'all ain't no different than him. Like I say, y'all kill each other. Y'all sell dope to your own people. You know, y'all can't even get it together among yourselves because you so divided. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I mean, you're no different than those that you call or refer to as the devil. Matter of fact, I've seen black Muslims sell other black Muslims crack cocaine poison. Especially when I was caught up in that pro-black conscious stuff back in the days when the so-called Nuwabians or Sabians or whatever they call themselves now was known as the Ansar Allah community. You know what I'm saying? I'm up in New York, in Mount Vernon, New York, watching, you know, a 5%er selling one of them crack. Come on. With money that I gave him for another purpose. You see what I'm saying? I mean, see, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. You know, and it's like, you know, we I mean, you know, it's no different. You know, we're all bent out of shape when it comes to us being the people. You know, I don't care if we rich or poor or so-called middle class or wherever we find ourselves at in life. We are very distorted. And that is enough reason why, you know, it, you know, it's legit as to why people like myself don't like black people. You know what I'm saying? Because of the, you know, reckless stuff that black people do to each other. Like in my own personal case, like I mentioned about in the part 1 video with Sister Noble, about how I dealt with child abuse. How to this day, certain people never went through the details with me about it. which is supposed to be so-called family. You see what I'm saying? And among other reasons why I don't deal with so-called relatives, that are biologically related to me. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, I have no qualms about saying that I don't like black people and will always continue to feel that way and probably will feel that way even after until after I close my eyes for the last time, because we are so preposterous, you know what I'm saying, in the treacherous stuff that we do to each other. And in some cases, even on a personal level, from experience, I know black people would do each other even worse in some ways than a Caucasian would ever do black people, you know? And like I said, I've lived around, well as blacks, I've lived around Caucasians like I do now. And I've lived around other different cultures of people. And no one has done black people worse like other black people have on a personal level. Now far as slavery and all that, even before my time, yes, we had to more so contend with our Caucasian enemy oppressor, but at the same time, we were doing each other funky then, selling each other out, turning each other in. You know what I'm saying? Snitching on each other when it came to us trying to get away from the plantation as fugitive slaves to get the freedom. We had turned each other in, the slave master and all that crazy stuff, You had the house Negro turning on the field Negro and all that. Yeah, so I mean, we was doing each other just as treacherous then. How you think we learned how to be treacherous toward each other? It started with slavery in this country, right? Even though we were divided even before enslavement, but we learned even more from our enemies, obviously, how to be even just as more or worsely, treacherous against each other in the ways that we deal with each other. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is why I don't you know what I'm saying? Uh, Actually, at this point, I don't care when I hear about other black people getting oppressed. I do, but in ways I don't. I seriously don't. It'd be times I see where police then shot a brother or sister in the streets or killed, or some racist cop then discriminately killed a black person or arrested a black person for something indiscriminately or whatever. And but I might flip and scroll past that article just because I don't care. Because the first thing I look at is like this: you still want to be among your oppressors anyway. So there you go. You get what you get. You know? And I'm talking to those of you that don't want to separate from your oppressors, and those of you that say you want to separate from your oppressors, but you actually faking, because in your actions you're showing that you don't want to separate from your oppressors. So I mean, my thing is this here, is that if you do not want to actually separate from your oppressors, then why should even people care about you being oppressed by the racists in this country? Why even should other black people like myself care? And I'm dead you know, on spot serious about that. I'm right on spot dead serious about that, you know, because y'all don't care nothing about whether y'all ever are going to be a free people. Y'all don't, you know, y'all don't want liberation. That's why y'all keep doing the silly stuff y'all do, especially to each other, you know. But I'm supposed to like black people and the stuff about them, you know, when 90 some percent of it is no different from what the Caucasian is. That's why I say we have a lot in common with the Caucasian enemy oppressor in this nation, you know, and we're going, and it's going to continue like that long as we are among the races in this country. And long as we're interacting integratedly among the races in this country, it's going to continue on being like that. And that's just the reality of it. You know, so you know, like I said before, we I mean, you know, I don't I don't have no qualms about speaking like I'm speaking in this video. And I will keep on speaking and standing on my principle feeling of why I don't like black people. You know what I'm saying? Until I see us uniting and becoming completely liberated from an oppressor for once and for all, especially like with taking control of a state, which, you know, we represent as an ideal from the Mississippi campaign, you know. But I just want to also make this clear once again, too, like I did in the part one video. My personal feelings about not liking black people don't have nothing to do with the Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign. You know what I'm saying? Those are just my personal, you know, feelings as far as that go. You know, so I just want to make that clear. Those are my personal feelings as far as that go on why I don't like black people, and it don't have nothing to do with the Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign. I just want to make that clear, you know, and I don't know no more how I can say that or no, and I don't know how many more times I could say that, but I just want to make that clear, you know. So, I mean, you know, and we need to understand that in fact we are in a situation right now, you know, that we need to have that clear understanding of knowing that, look, this type of situation that we're up against, okay, as far as dealing with other black people and the wretched stuff that we do toward each other, you know, we cannot get mad at other people who feel the same way like I do, or once again, like Sister Noble Levine do. We can't get mad because I mean, it's clearly, you know, out there to be seen as evidence, you know, as with me having a legitimate reason to feel the way I feel as far as not liking black people. Okay. And I mean, you could take it how you want. You could roll with it as they say how you want. It don't really make me no difference, you know. But that's just simply where I stand at on that, you know. And you know, like I say, I die going to my grave feeling that way. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. You know, on that note. And I mean, you know, I've seen a whole lot of things, in terms of that situation that, I really don't see no reason as to why, you know, I should even like black people, or why I should even, uh, put my life on the line, even my freedom on the line for black people, even as of that point being made. Why should I even put my freedom and life on the line for black people when, you know, I get done, you know what I'm saying, uh, messed up, in ways by black people that is very deplorable. But yet I'm supposed to, you know what I'm saying, put my life and freedom on the line for other black people, for the struggle of black people's liberation, as I usually would call dark skin liberation of soul, you know. Is that what people expect of me? Why, I beg your pardon, but to say this here is that I really don't have to put my life or my freedom on the line for other black people like that, because other black people don't deserve that because of their actions. And it clearly shows not only what I've been through personally, but from what I've seen on the general scale, with the treachery and the deceit and the wickedness that black people have dealt against each other. You know, other black people have killed other black people who tried to help black people. Look at Malcolm X. Look at Martin Luther King. They're prime examples, brothers and sisters. They even, other black people were even used to help to turn on Sister Harriet Tubman. Although their attempts failed in that case, but it's even way more examples than that. That's even as well as untold. But I mean, that's why I say, why, why should why should actually, like I say, why should I put my life on the line for other black people? I mean, really, why should I? Why should I? Black people ain't really done nothing for me to even deserve for me to put my life and freedom on the line for them. And that's just straight up, point blank. you know, Negroes have done nothing for me. You want me to say it even more bluntly? Niggas ain't done nothing for me to put my life and freedom on the line for them. Okay? And I usually don't use that N word, but that's just part of the expression to get directly to the point, even where people can understand it on their own levels. You know. But like I said before, I don't owe black people nothing. We most of us is that I'm speaking to are grown. You know what I'm saying? I don't owe black people nothing, not a damn thing. You know? If I do owe any black person something, that'll be my deceased mother. May she rest in peace, and that's it. you know, that I don't. Other than that, I don't owe other black people a damn thing. And plus they're not worthy of me owing them nothing. And that's, for real, how much I legitimately do not like black people, you know? So, like I said before, we need to understand and recognize, you know, before we question, before we over question or over judge black people who don't like other black people. Just think about what I just said in this video, and I mean, the way that we're killing each other, like I said, in the streets, is very deplorable at this point in time in our history when it comes to black on black crime and violence. I mean, and that's even enough to make uh another dark skinned person or soul not like other black people. Okay? I mean, just look at all the unsolved black on black killings. Yes, 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 yes. As much as Caucasians get away with killing black people do get away with killing other black people too. Like that. Yes. So yes, it's a problem. That's a serious problem. Okay, and I mean, like I said before, that makes us no different from our Caucasian oppressors of over 400 years in this nation. And like I said, I just wanted to touch on that because I do have to do some things, you know, but I just needed to get that out in this part 3. And I just wanted just to know that hey, it is what it is, and what's going on with us as a people. And we need to understand and realize that hey, you know there are black people like myself that are not going to like other black people, and that's just something that's to be accepted. And it's not based on always self-hatred. Like in my personal case, it's not based on no damn self-hatred. It's what I've been through and what I've seen and what makes me legitimately feel the way that I feel about it, And I mean, we need to understand and recognize that. It is a lot. Black people do things to each other that warrant that type of reaction. You know, I mean, and to be honest with you, a lot of us, far as when people want to talk about the races, killing black people and doing this and that to black people, a lot of these niggas need to be dead. Because we ain't no good to each other, let alone to ourselves. And that's just like someone called the prophet of truth would say, you know. A lot of these Negroes is better off dead. We being exterminated every day anyway. A lot, and like someone said last night on our live stream, a lot of these Negroes, which someone referred to as social and psychopaths, need to be separated and weeded out from us, from among us as a people, and that's true. That's definitely true. And, I mean, it's plain and clear to see that for what it is, and I'm not going to, hold back or go back on what I say because it definitely is what it is, and I mean, truthfully, right now, if I could go to another country, why I ain't got to even worry about being around a bunch of Negroes here in America and putting up with the wretched Negro stuff that I see going on around me in this racist ass country that I'm living in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm fine with that. I would be definitely fine with something like that. You know, I would definitely be fine, totally fine with that. You know, and that's why I don't blame some of our people who have left America, not only to get away from the races, but to get away from these silly ass Negroes. I know I'm doing a little cussing in this video, and I usually don't do no cussing, but hey, I'm just telling it like it is. Because these Negroes is very deplorable, you know, and hey, I like I said, one day if every breath is still left in my body, and I could afford to leave America, why I ain't got to be bothered with them? You know, that'll be perfectly fine with me. You know, and hey, because I mean these Negroes, and they about trying to tear each other down, like they call the crab in the bucket mentality. They're about tearing each other down. You know, they're not about helping to uplift each other. Or you know, we don't even have the type of unity as black people that we had during the 1950s and 60s, during the civil rights movement era. You know, we that didn't even went out the window. You know, with the little love and care and unity that we had. You know, look how we treat our elders. You know, and that even garner actually you know uh why black people, you know what I'm saying, don't like other black people. That warrants a reason for black people like myself not to like other black people, just because of the way we treat our elders, which is sickening and which is very deplorable. You know what I'm saying? It's so sickening and deplorable how we treat our elders. But I'm supposed to like black people? You know? How we rob and even rape our own elders. People that made it possible for us to still be here. For us to even exist the way that we do now. And this is the way we show our appreciation to them, by breaking in their house, by robbing them, raping them, pillaging them, killing them. You know what I'm saying? And we all, one way or another, share a responsibility in that. Okay? Because we're not doing nothing to protect our elders, like other nationalities protect their elders. Okay? And that's just sickening. It really is. You know, and I mean, we need to understand and realize that for what it is. That we do not have no respect for each other, no love for each other. So, yes, why should I even like black people, even based on that? Why should I like black people? And, I just want to add on to that, hey, once again, I don't owe black people nothing. You know, if black people want to earn my trust and respect, then that's just what they got to do. Enough for me to change my way of feeling the way I feel when it comes to me not liking other black people. And it's just that simple. You got to earn my trust to change my way of thinking from that, because my way of thinking is going to remain that way. And it's just that simple, you know. And at this point, until then, ain't nothing else gonna change my way of thinking from that, you know. So I mean, it's like you might as well just you know, accept it or don't accept it. It's not my problem whether you do or not, you know. And I mean, I must you know, say that you know, I mean, like the sister spoke about, you know, how black people on her job discriminated against her and still is trying to do underhanded stuff so she could get terminated from her own employment and all this kind of crazy stuff. Black people she never even done nothing to deserve this type of treatment from other people that look like her, you know? So like I said before, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And like I said, I find myself in similar situations, you know, and it's just deplorable. And like I said, you know, we need to understand and wake up and realize that, you know, that there are black people that have a legitimate reason not to like other black people. And with that said, you know, I'm going to, you know what I'm saying, basically, hey, before I close out, you know, I just want to say shout outs to our number one soul brother, Angel Snup Snup 7 from Reality Temple Ministry, aka Operation Exodus, Mississippi, and also our other associate, which I was on that live stream with during the part one series of this subject, Sister Noble Levine, and please support her book called God is on Trial as well. And I mean, you know, hey, I just you know, want to just put that out there, you know, to let y'all know that hey, I don't, you know, I will always continue on feeling the way I feel until the day I close my eyes for the very last time, you know, and that's just you know, ain't nothing gonna stop me from speaking out on it and feeling the way I feel in that manner, you know, and it's just that simple, you know, and I don't, you know, hey, you know, because black people haven't done nothing for me to respect them any different or to feel any different about them other than what I feel about them now. And on this note, and also on this note, I'm going to be Audi 5000. Peace and respect.